And a lot of these countries, us in particular, will be using a special system for allocating under proportional representation the votes that are cast. It's why parties like UKIP and the small parties do so well, because in the big constituencies, on the basis of the popular vote, they get a number of seats. The system was devised by a Belgian mathematician who died in 1901, Mr. de Hont, and Jeremy Vine has the thankless task of explaining what it amounts to.
Yeah, thank you for allowing me to do this, David. I will try. Getting the votes in is one thing, of course, and counting them is another, all fairly straightforward. The complicated bit is deciding how many seats the parties get based on the number of votes they've had, and it is, as you say, done on something called the de Hont formula, and I'll try and explain it. And essentially, it's a way of spreading the seats as evenly as possible. The effect tends to be that rivals end up closer to each other than they might otherwise. Let me show you the system now, and I'll do this based on the 2004 vote in the southeast. So we're actually looking at real votes here and a real result from 5 years ago. And here's what happens. You take the part, you look at the numbers of votes here, and we've got the raw numbers of votes here, so you see the Conservatives have got the most. And you take the party with the most votes, you give it an MEP, you then say how many MEPs has it got, and you add the number 1 to that, and then you divide their original starting total by that number. So it'll become clear when I do it now. Let's look at the Conservatives. They're 776,000, right? So they got the most number of votes based on the first reading of all the numbers. So we give them their first MEP. There it is. We now say how many MEPs do they have? Answer 1. We add 1 to it, and we divide their starting total by 2. And they go down. And then we look again for the party with the most number of votes. So you can see the pattern emerging here. Who is it? It's UKIP, 431,000 odd there. So let's give UKIP their first MEP, and again, take them down. So they've got their first one there, and we take them down by their starting total divided by 2. Now we look again, and this will just reinforce the method here, because we now see the Conservatives have, once again, the most number of votes, even though their original total was halved, 388,000. So what we're going to do here, we're going to give them another MEP. When we do that, we divide the starting total by the number of MEPs, now 2, plus 1. So give them the MEP, there it goes, and their total goes down by the original starting total divided by 3. So you see the system here. Next party, Lib Dems, take their vote down, give them the MEP. Who is it after that? Let's see. Well, it's now Labour. So Labour on about 300,000. That's right, they go down, they get an MEP there. And then we are back with the Conservatives there, 258,000. Again, give them another MEP. There it goes. Divide their original starting total by the number of MEPs, 3 plus 1. So divide their starting total by 4. Hope you're following this. UKIP are the next party. Do the same for them. And then we have the Conservatives again. There we go. So they've got 4. Now, interesting moment for the Green Party here. They now have 173,000. They are in the lead on the raw totals that we can see in front of us. So we're going to give the Greens their first MEP. Here it goes. And you divide their original starting total of 173,000 by the number of MEPs, which is 1 plus 1, so by 2. And they go down there to, what is it, about 86,000. And then one more MEP, because there's only 10 to go round in the southeast of England. And it's the, let's see, it's the Liberal Democrats there. So you halve their total, you give them the MEP, and basically that's how the de Hont system works.